What's up, guys? Today I'm excited to announce my brand new website, Restored Members. The purpose of this website is to provide foreskin restoration education, information, resources, and encouragement. When I first started looking into this a couple years ago, I found obscure, outdated information, and at the same time, there was new foreskin restoration devices coming onto the market. And I didn't have a good grasp on the best methods, the routines, the expectations, and I was jumping around on different websites trying to piece things together. So it is kind of a niche technique. Not many people have ever even heard of it. So I wanted to put together a concise website that can kind of explain all this stuff to the common man. All right, so I'm going to walk you through my website here. It works both on mobile and desktop. So basically, I'm trying to market this as the number one male enhancement. So on the home page here, I list an overview of some of the methods and some of the benefits. And we're going to take a look at that real quick. There's four main benefits that I advertise, which is increased erect size because the erections are no longer tight, so the member becomes free to fully expand. Glands protection. That way, the glands is no longer brushing against underwear and clothing, especially important for athletic activity. And that leads to increased sensation. As the glands and inner tissue begin to dekeratinize and revitalize, they change color and increase in sensitivity. And finally, mobile gliding action. Once there's enough coverage to be rolled back and forth over the glands, it's extremely pleasurable and makes things easier both solo and with a partner. And finally, bodily autonomy by allowing men to take back control of their body, become whole again, and intact advocacy. Once they realize the benefits of foreskin, they'll protect the next generation. For the next section, methods, I'm going to go ahead and show you on my mobile. So I came up with a rating system and went ahead and put my favorite recommended devices and techniques on this page. Now, there are others, sure, but these are the ones that I think are the best. So manual methods and T-tape for beginners who are cut tight. It's based on coverage index levels. You can see my ebook for that, but CI2, you can start with devices like the Mantor Flow, a dual tension device. I'm going to be releasing a review video on that soon. It just hit the market, but it looks really good. The classic DTR, still being handmade by Chuck, very effective and fairly priced, about $90. The Forgestalt inflation device, my personal favorite, very comfortable and very effective. And then the Reddit favorite, Car One. I'm going to be reviewing that too. That's a great device. Inexpensive, comfortable, effective. And finally, retainers. Retainers are important because they train the tissue to stay forward, and they also provide more coverage hours and allow the glands to revitalize and that inner tissue to soften up. So the Get Started button basically takes us to the guide. I'm going to switch back to the desktop. The guide is based around my ebook. I've been building this ebook for about a year now, but basically it provides more information and review about the devices, but also how to optimize them as far as routines, enhancements, modifications. So you match your starting point based on your index level to your methods, or plan your device path, whether you start with a T-tape or a manual method and move to dual tension, or you want to go to inflation. I've done both, and there's pros and cons of each. But basically, this is a quick start guide to what usually works best for most people, taking a 2 to 3 day tugging block with a 1 rest day in between, and then wearing retainers during rest, sometimes during sleep, making sure to moisturize the stretched skin, and also keeping the devices clean so that they maintain their grip. So these are some of the most often asked questions about foreskin restoration. Number one, does it hurt? Actually, it doesn't. The stretching becomes unnoticeable. Only towards the end of a tugging session, of 2-3 hour tugging session on some devices, you'll have that pinching pain, that pinching fatigue. You just take off the device and take a break. Another question is, how long does it take to see results? Well, beginner gains come pretty quickly. So you could get 2 coverage index levels in the first year, and then it slows down. And typically, you can expect about gaining 1 coverage level per year subsequent. So I also want to show you my full ebook here. This goes into depth and explains how to use the devices and regimens and how to improve the device, how to optimize them. There is no nudity in this ebook, although there are links to device use depictions and videos. So viewer discretion advised for following any of those links. But each method is in here with all these links to different parts and pieces, whether it's the material itself or tugging straps or the cock rings that I talk about for preventing turkey neck. So yeah, this is the culmination of years of research and personal experience. I also read a lot from others on the Reddit communities. I've actually found the Reddit community is very helpful, and I do post some of my updates on there. And here's my favorite device, the Forgestalt. It's an indirect inflation device that uses a balloon and a rugged tugging strap. Here's the Car 1. It's a direct inflation device, so it does not use a balloon. It's very good as well. And the cost of the car is like $70. You really can't beat that. Retainers, very important. And I even mentioned O-rings. Those are preferred by advanced restorers for the pucker effect. I also include a troubleshooting and maintenance and an FAQ question for more in-depth context around these questions. So anyway, that's about it for the guide, but it should be enough to get people started. I do offer private consultations. They can book them through my calendar on this link. But I think between what I've made available and the public communities, they can probably discover everything they need to know. This first link here is to the Reddit Foreskin Restoration group, and people share their experiences, their challenges, their questions, their circumcision grief. And this link here, the Reddit progress threads, this is where people post their coverage progress as they're restoring and their device use. And I found this very encouraging when I was first getting started to see what's possible. You know, you can really see some radical transformations with this technique and modality. And here's the Facebook group. I thought I'd throw this in there. It's not a huge forum per se, like on discussions, but every Sunday night they host a Zoom call that's free to join. Anybody can get on there. So that's a great way to connect as well. So that's my website. Thanks for tuning in and checking it out. I'm not sure how I'm going to market it yet, but hopefully it'll help guys get the information they need and encourage them to get started. Special thanks to Carter for setting up the software in my computer and teaching me how to use the agents. Definitely could not have done this alone. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time.